friends, this is the basically last full day in Copenhagen. We're currently walking towards the office of Schauman Nordgren. We're gonna visit the Copenhagen office. I don't think we'll be able to be Désirée this way. I don't think we will be able to film inside there, or at least I don't want to, because I haven't told them that I'm doing a vlog or something. And after that we're going to visit the VM houses, the mountain, the 8 house, and another Kobe project. And then in the afternoon maybe there will be something special, who knows. Let's see. So this is how it is the last full day in Copenhagen. We've been walking super much the last few days, an average of like 15 kilometers at least. Yesterday we were over 20, so I don't know. We'll see how much we'll walk today. That's it for now, and come with us to see what comes next. So guys, here we are at the common area of Schauman Nordgren in Copenhagen. And meanwhile, Jonas is finishing his meeting, and it looks really nice. They're based in this small sort of co-working area with an outside courtyard. You can see in this small brick building, and it looks cozy and very creative. I gotta say, I'm positively impressed. We hopped off the underground, and the stop is called Vestmager or Vestmager, I don't know how it is pronounced exactly. It is the end of the city. It's a completely new area, so I'm pretty sure what we're walking around are buildings from many important architects, but we are going towards the 8 house. So stay with me, stay with us, so that you can check it out. There you can see the first corner of the 8 house. It looks quite huge, and it looks huge also from above, but let's get closer and see if we can walk up the ramp and see how it looks from the other side where the 8 goes down. But the area is nice. As you can see, the other buildings are quite dense too, and here we have these nice channels with water, and we have to wait for the green light. Here on this side of the street we can see this construction, this building with these very funny balconies. You can see that everything is brand new, and the first images of this project you might have, or still at the marketing images that probably BIG has, this area is completely empty, but by now it's been built a lot, it's been constructed a lot, and it looks completely differently. So here at the number 64 you can see the typical 8 shape of the building. We're walking along it. On this side we have this mullion facade, which is quite big, and we're walking around it. You can see the area around, how it looks like. You can see Désirée taking pictures, and we're approaching basically the stroke of the 8 to see if we can cross through, because I remember you were supposed to be able to cross through. Yes, so here we are at the first part of T8. You can see this is the last block of the city. And you can go completely through it. You can see the facade, it's out of metal and glass, very thin frames as usual. And we are going through the stroke of the 8. It's quite spacey. And you can get into the courtyards. So let's see how they look like. So this is one of the courtyards. We're getting into the courtyard 1. You can see that it's greeny with these green hills. I think it's a nice view to live in this kind of courtyard. The building is very metallic though. It's like the early Bjarke Ingels, but I guess that it's aging quite well because now it's 10 years old more or less, and it still looks good, still looks fresh. So I gotta say the pick of material is not bad. The wooden frame of the windows, I don't know if they're still okay, but they look a little bit âgés. So let's move. Next courtyard. Let's see if we can actually go through the next courtyard, because the next one is the interesting one. And then we're gonna try to see if we can move along the ramps of this area. So it doesn't seem like it's possible to move around, but here it is where the 8 goes down. Here you can see we have another crossing with lots of lights, so during the night it's very well illuminated. And here you can see there are some sort of terraces of the landscape, and you have the townhouses, you have balconies. If I move towards this side, you will be able to see how the ramps starts over there, and you can go up and you have these townhouses, and there you have townhouses too. And let's go check on the other side. So here it's one part where you can go up. You can go up, 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 up. And as you guys can see, you can go up the ramp of the building. There is this, I don't know if it's brushed or, anyway, it looks yellowish, goldish facade. I guess we're not allowed to be here. It says it's a private passage. We have to get out of here. But let's see how we can move. And here we are at the end of the world, more or less. You can see this is the 8th house. We went through, although we weren't allowed. I think we can cross there over the bridge. I think everywhere there are baths because the water is not so clean here. I wouldn't jump in. It's definitely not the best, not the best street. It's not so interesting. It's not the best urban area in general with these large streets and not lots of life along the street. So you can see it also here from this side of the river or of the water. So here we are on the other side. We are walking along. I think it's super beautiful how the building reflects in the water. And you can see how here the H shape is sloping down into this terrace, which is a common area for the inhabitants of the building. So you can see the building from here. You can see the other slope, the outside slope that goes up, and there are these sort of townhouses that live on a ramp. The inhabitants live on this ramp, and staircases that goes up and down, and next to it there is another kind of building that's not in a great shape because of the facade material. And here from this side finally you can see the most iconic and representative aspect of the building, the 8 that it's pushed down in order to allow the people inside the building to have a view. Here you can see how the view, it's this green field, it's very nice, very relaxing. I think that this idea of pushing down a side of a building and like pulling up the other side, the opposite side, it's an idea that you can see in other more modern projects of BIG, like the Via 57. And I think it's from the urban point of view not the best for sure, but from the idea, from the concept, and you have to consider this was an empty area, so basically you got the freedom to do whatever. It's an interesting concept. I have to say that I don't see every single project that BIG makes as a super success, but what I always appreciate, it's for sure the courage of doing something different. And in the end of the day, the last words you should ask the people that are inhabiting the project, so that the people that live inside here, they will be able to tell you if it's cool or not. So guys, here you can see the beginning of the ramp going up at these townhouses. It says private, but the ramps aren't private as much as I understand. The stairs are, but the ramps aren't. So we can check it out and see if we can get up there. We can actually cross because it's today. We saw the 10 to 16 during Monday to Friday. You're allowed to sightsee, but you're not allowed to take picture of the inside of the homes, and we're not doing that. And let's check it out. So we went up and we arrived here where you can actually see through the 8 and got to see what kind of views the inhabitants of this place get. I think it looks cool. Here it's a little wider angle. Here you can see the lights in the little passages, and I think with these screws in Bulgaria there would be certain people that would unscrew everything and get the lights inside just because they can. But here we are in Copenhagen, so it looks good. I don't know if this kind of project could be a success everywhere around the world though. I think it's part of the culture. And here we are in the second courtyard. One cool thing indeed of these ramps is that you guys, as you can see, you can go up with a bike. You can just pull your bike. There are a lot of people that have their bicycles with them in their courtyard. So again, I have to say, despite my skepticism, it looks kind of cool to have these ramps and use them up and down. You can say that life is going on these ramps when you find a football in a corner that a kid has lost. So that speaks for itself. And then we have the other buildings in the surrounding. We are now at one of the highest point of the building, and you can continue go along the ramp and see where that leads us. You can see everything is sloped slightly also towards the outside, and there is the water for the rainwater system, the drainage is all along the outskirts of the ramps, so that if something happens, no water goes into the flats. So guys, we came to the top part of this courtyard, and you can see that the view, it's breathtaking. It's really nice. At the end, I have to say positive opinions about this project. It looks cool, and you have this townhouse on one side and the balconies on the inside, and it looks pretty dope, I think, if you live here. From here you can see the view varies. You start to see a little bit of the sea. It looks really nice. You see a lot of people jogging into the green and the nature. So it is indeed really nice. You can see a little bit of the panorama. I'm very careful not to film inside the people's houses because they had a sign. Here we are next to the staircase houses, and you can see they have already also created some steps where you can sit and chit chat with the community, and sort of like a closed square where I can imagine kids can play a little football. You have more footballs here. I think it's cool. I think now it's quite empty just because we're here on Tuesday, 11 in the morning. Everybody at work or at school, so I think that's why. But we saw a few people chatting on these ramps. We just don't film them. So guys, we are heading towards our next destination, and I'm filming from this window because soon you'll be seeing where we're going. It's a very interesting place. You will recognize, or for sure you will recognize. So soon is coming. You can see the VM. This is the V, the M house, and you're getting to see the mountain. And we are leaving on the next stop so that we can take a closer look at these other OG big projects. So from here you can see that also this area has been densely built. You can see the the underground lines are passing by, and there you can see the mountain, and right after it there are the VM houses. So let's go check them out. So we are approaching the mountain. You can see, guys, that here there are a lot of construction sites, so it's kind of difficult to take nice pictures, but we're almost there. The site, it's right next to the bridge of the underground, which here is overground. It's an elevated train line, and you can see that now the area is very densely built and populated. a lot of bike riders, a lot of cars. You can see, I think this hole there is from Nord Architects, I'm not sure again. Right next to the mountain. But I gotta say, it looks cool again with this water that reflects the facade and the perforated image of the mountains. It's nice. I think it's always interesting how the rooftop of every building that Bjarke Ingels group designs, it's very, like, the user can interact with the rooftop. And yeah, it looks, let's see how it looks like. I don't know, you say, guys. You can drop a comment below and tell me top or flop, or you like it or you don't like it. So here we are. This is the position where we can cross. It's really cool because it's sort of this wooden bridge where you can just go on it. There's a circular shape where people can just stand and sit. I don't know if they would because it's quite loud, but you have to be careful not to slip. And they say be careful, the wood might be slippery, a slippery slope. And here we are with the mountain. You can see the facade, looks like the image of a mountain with the perforated metal. So the facade, it's basically the same as the one at the 8 house, with the difference that you have this cool, playful idea to mark the different floors in different colors. So when you park your car, you can know you're at the orange floor, at the red floor, at the pink floor, blue floor, lila floor, and so on. And these are some architecture right in the surroundings here. So let's go check on the other side how it looks like, and if we can get in somewhere. So here we are right beneath the facade. You can see how it looks nice. The perforations varies in order to create this image of the mountain, of this JPEG. And you can see that all the joints are not visible in this case. They're just gaps. And it looks really interesting. I will try to go on the other side, but it's quite difficult so far to get on the other side to see the apartments. From here you can see the mountain is the first building. That comes the M house, and then afterwards comes the V house. So let's check out how it looks like on the other side. So we came on this other part of the building. You can see the number of the building, 55. It's also made with perforation in the metal facade. You can see here the first parking story. It's made with green, then yellow, orange, and then it turns blue and violet. It looks very similar to, let me cross the street really quickly before somebody kills me. It looks a little bit like the building, like the book Hot to Cold. Here we are at the entrance of the M house, and you can see here is the famous mosaic of the client that of the developer for this building. It's seen on the documentary on Netflix. For the camera, it looks more like a person than in real life, I have to say. And here we go back to see the mountain. Like all the pictures that you guys see online are from the completion of the building. So I think now it's even nicer because you can see that the greenery on top of it has grown even more. And I will try to get even further away so that you can see how it looks like. But again, it's extremely interesting, the concept. You might like it or not, but the concept for me, it's really interesting. And I guess that it's also nice to live in these houses that look really like a townhouse. And again, there is a lot of water. There is another bridge, very green. You can see the public space has a lot of trees, and the wooden planks facade has aged quite well. And here you can see how interesting it looks like. It is like a green mountain, a green terracing group. I don't know how to describe it. It's like steps going up out of green and wood and these very nice facades that are at the edge of the facade. So again, you could say if you like it or not. In my opinion, it's a very interesting concept. So here we are on the other side of the channel. Again, there is a lot of water. There you see the mountain, and this is the M house, which is more or less completely transparent. And on the other side you can see the M house, which is with those double floor apartments, so that you can see people walking around to get into their home. And here I think it's the same. It's inspired by the Unité d'Habitation. So let's go and walk around it to see how it looks like. I think, considering this is a building that is 10 years old, it's standing the time quite well. Here you can see at the entrance again the mosaic, and this is the one in which they have the plaque with the price as a golden tooth. I think you can see that. We can get closer. Again, you can watch the documentary on Netflix, but you can watch also the Creative Insider podcast. So here you see 2006. So that's even more than 10 years. That's like how much it is. 14, 16 years. So that's quite an old building. And Désirée, which way should we go? The other way or this way?
This way.
No, but we haven't finished the visit. We have to go on the other side. So yeah, Désirée was thinking that we're done. Unfortunately for her, we're not. So we're gonna walk all the way around the houses. Maybe we can try again to check this passage here. Yeah, it's again quite tall, spacey. I hope illuminated during the night so that you don't feel like somebody can come behind you and rape you in the dark. Well, you gotta think about those stuff. So here we are. We're gonna go through. Always bikes, everywhere there are bikes. Here you can see the interior, very minimalist, white, wood. Looks like a ship a little bit. I have to say, here in Denmark everything is somehow related to navigation. Again, we are on the big street, and here we are walking towards the M house. I'm gonna cross the street so that you can see better. So yeah, you can see the structure. This is the M.
There's a bubble there.
There is the M house. Again, almost completely transparent. Uh, with these balconies that are inset inside the building, so everything looks like a one surface. There are no balconies, they are loggias, and you can check the diagram of the different apartment floors. In here you can see how you can come through. There are the bicycles, the garbage room. You can go downstairs. There are some elephants here, probably inspired by the structure. We're going downstairs and being careful not to stumble into something. And there you can see the famous balconies, and they have sort of a public bubble space. And yeah, here you can see the balconies. They look pretty dope. Yeah, so this is it. You can see that it looks quite unique. So tell me, what do you think? I'm trying to be quiet because I'm not even sure we are allowed to be here. So trying to film without annoying anyone in order to avoid problems. Babe, I don't know if we can go around here. So I figure out that here I can come because it's like a place where you can go around with your dog, so I guess I won't have any problems. And from here you can see the classic view towards the M house and Désirée arriving from the horizon. Yeah, tell me your opinions. I don't have really a real opinion. It looks really interesting. It would be interesting to see an apartment. I think there are also double floored apartments, so the balcony seems to be filled with furniture. Some people have like a screen shield, and it looked like the tip of a ship or a boat, and then you can just sit in there and enjoy the view towards the garden. And I guess that there are different views from the top, and the penthouses must be really, really nice. The area is nothing fancy, but again, back in the days this was a completely new area. Now it's developed, and it's interesting to come here after almost 20 years and see how the building has aged, and it looks still very good, and it's not rusty. It's basically timeless, so to say. So yeah, that's it so far. Let's see what comes next, and let's see if we can make some other nice shootings. We came at the university building, and we are seeing right in front of us the new student housing by Christensen and Co. It looks really neat. And here we have this really interesting student housing with this rooftop and really interesting structure. So we're going through the campus to see how it looks like. But the Christensen and Co. building looks really cozy. So from this point here you can see it looks really immersed into nature. There is always the water element, and we are right next to the next site. I'm gonna show you. It's so funny to see that so many famous architecture and so many renowned architecture companies have built next to each other, implementing each other's project, enhancing it with the landscape architecture or with the architecture itself. So you can see here how it looks like the student dorm for the students. It's really nice, and maybe later we can go check it closer. So as you can see, it's quite steep coming up, but it's not so hard. You can see those spheres transforms into sort of green spheres, and you can see the rest of the campus. And there in the background is where we came from. In that area is where are the VM houses and the new building complexes. And here you can see the typical steps that are always designed by Danish architects to allow you to sit in a sort of amphitheater or theater situation and interact with students or just people passing by. And I think that when the weather is nice, it's a very nice place to experience. A lot of birds, and it's for sure another awarded project and a very successful project by Kobe. So here we are in one of the shells for bicycles. Here they should have done better the finishing so that the water drops and doesn't stay. It's molding a little bit. But all over it looks like a temple for the bicycle. Also the audio, it's really echoey, so you feel like you have the voice of God of bicycles. Yeah, so it's really funny, the acoustics in this place, and once you move out it gets normal. So here we are, right next to the student dorms of Christensen and Co. We're getting into the courtyard to see how it looks like, and it looks, as you can see, really nice with those tall trees, and all the dorms faces this courtyard. I think it's very nice to live in here, and you can use these deep balconies to protect yourself from the rain, as in this case. So I think that's where the sites we wanted to visit in Copenhagen. I think there will be some last pictures and videos, but that's it for now. Okay, the latest part of our visit. As you might see the flag, we are at the BIG headquarters. So let's get in. I don't think inside we're gonna be able to film, but yeah, we've been visiting. Here we are, last evening of the trip, right after we visited Victoria Millentrup, shout out. at the big headquarters, and after getting some tips about about where to go to eat for our last dinner, where to enjoy some good food and some good drinks, we are visiting also the last project from BIG, the urban rigger. Those are floating students accommodations. As you might see, they started with one and now there are many different colors, different containers. We're not gonna get closer to it because it's a private zone. It's the students living there and they're floating. So I think we have really squeezed out everything of this trip that we could have visited. Is there more architecture in Copenhagen? Yes, there is. Did we have the power to walk more and go around and look? No. We just really did almost 20 kilometers every single day, took every kind of transportation, buses, trains, anything you can imagine. I don't know, in the end we're gonna count how many buildings we've seen, how many museums and so on. But this is the last architectural site that we have managed to get to visit. It looks pretty cool, and definitely students are enjoying it too. And now we're going to have some food, and tomorrow we will show you hopefully how we're getting back home safely. We really hope that you liked what we showed you from Copenhagen, and I really hope it is an inspiration for you to come yourself, come visit, maybe visit the same things that we did, maybe visit other things. We were gonna share the places we've tagged on our Google map, and you will be able to check, and if you're coming, just use it in order to find out where the different things are. And yeah, I hope you really like the journey to Copenhagen. I don't know if this video is going to be one, if it's going to be many parts. Yeah, and we're going to give you a conclusion of what we think about it. So stay here on to see our final discussion about what we think about Copenhagen after the whole trip. Right before we were about to leave, we came here to the beach to see how it looks like. And you guys can see there, it's the latest big project. And over there is the first big project, the youth house. We found it by accident, so let's go check out if we can get on top of it. So guys, we arrive at the youth house. As you see, it's full of youth. Trying not to show any faces. But yeah, and over there you can see one of the newest big project, and we are one of the first big projects. So yeah, this was a nice discovery in the last day. You can see more here with this wide angle. We are on the top. Here a little more of the youth house, and as you saw there, you could see in the background Copenhagen. I mean, this one is also probably the first project, and it's quite cool, and it was fun that we discovered it by accident. We're bouncing now, we're leaving, and almost getting to the point where we need to go to the airport.